Hi and welcome to Marycast. Mark Miravalle, Professor of Theology and Mariology, talking about the Fatima message. My friends, Fatima is so important because it can rightly be said that every apparition before Fatima in this age of Mary kind of leads up to Fatima. And then every apparition after Fatima seeks the fulfillment of Fatima in seeking the fulfillment of the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary with the promises and era of peace. So we can really say, without comparing Our Lady to Our Lady, that the Fatima apparition is really a grandmother apparition. It's really a pinnacle apparition, at least in terms of its focus for the age of Mary, which is the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. What is the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary? It's when hearts are consecrated to the Immaculate Heart in a way that allows the Church to endure a time of purification, ultimately leading to an era of peace. Look at the news. Look at the state of attacks on our Holy Father. Look at the world scene. Surely there's crisis. That should not take away the peace and joy of the Christian, of the Catholic, and clearly of the Marian Catholic who benefits from the fullness of what Our Lady has said. She's predicted these things. We can handle these if we correspond and respond to what Our Lady has asked us to do. So I want to go to the quintessential Fatima message. This is July 13th, 1917. And again, read it for review and for pondering because, as Sister Lucia has said, as we talked about in another segment, we're only in the third day of the week of Fatima. There's 4 more days until the fulfillment. There's much ahead in terms of understanding and having the world implement the message of Fatima. Let's read the July 13th, 1917 message from the diary of Sister Lucia. She says, quote, "A few moments after arriving at the Cova de Iria near the Holmoke, where a large number of people were praying the Rosary, we saw the flash of light once more, and a moment later Our Lady appeared on the Holmoke. 'What do you want of me?' I asked." This is Lucia, of course, the visionary. "I want you to come here on the 13th of next month to continue to pray the Rosary every day in honor of Our Lady of the Rosary in order to obtain peace for the world and the end of the war, because only she can help you." I was racing to the words because that last line is so important. Listen to that. Because only she can help you. I'm going to go back to that in a second. Lucia, "I would like to ask you to tell us who you are and to work a miracle that everyone will believe that you are appearing to us. Our Lady, continue to come here every month. In October, I will tell you who I am and what I want, and I will perform a miracle for all to see and believe." Lucia, "Then I asked and made some requests, but I cannot recall now just what they were. What I do remember is that Our Lady said it was necessary for such people to pray the Rosary in order to obtain these graces during the year." And she continued, "Sacrifice yourselves for sinners, and say many times, especially whenever you make some sacrifice, 'O Jesus, it is for love of you, for the conversion of sinners, and in reparation for the sins committed against the Immaculate Heart of Mary.'" As Our Lady spoke these last words, she opened her hands once more, as she had done during the 2 previous months. The rays of light seemed to penetrate the earth, and we saw, as it were, a sea of fire. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls in human form, like transparent burning embers, all blackened or burnished bronze, floating about in the conflagration now raised into the air by the flames that issued from within themselves, together with great clouds of smoke, now falling back on every side like sparks in huge fires, without weight or equilibrium, amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair which horrified us, made us tremble with fear. It must have been the sight which caused me to cry out, as the people say they heard me. The demons could be distinguished by their terrifying and repellent likeness to frightful and unknown animals, black and transparent like burning coals. Terrified and as if to plead for succor, we looked up at Our Lady, who said to us so kindly and so sadly, "You have seen hell, where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish devotion to my Immaculate Heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved and there will be peace. The war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out during the pontificate of Pius XI. When you see a night illuminated by an unknown light, know that this is the great sign given you by God that he is about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, famine, and persecutions of the Church and of the Holy Father. To prevent this, I shall come to ask for the consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation on the first Saturdays. If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted and there will be peace. If not, she will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions of the Church. The good will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer. Various nations will be annihilated. In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The Holy Father will consecrate Russia to me, and a period of peace will be granted to the world. In Portugal, the dogma of the faith will always be preserved. Do not tell this to anybody. Francisco, yes, you may tell him. When you pray the Rosary, say after each mystery, O my Jesus, forgive us. Save us from the fire of hell. Lead all souls to heaven, especially those who are in most need. Powerful message, packed message. Let me just comment on a few of the elements. As I stammered and stuttered as I was trying to get to this pivotal line, because only she can help you. Pray the Rosary every day in order to obtain peace for the world and the end of the war, because only she can help you. My gosh, what an encouragement to pray the Rosary each day. Look, if you're not praying the Rosary for your own protection and your own spiritual guidance, if you're not praying the Rosary for your family protection, and I've got to say, please, parents, I beg you, pray the Rosary for your family, for your kids. Sometimes what we won't do for ourselves, we will do for our kids. Pray that Rosary as a family for your kids each night. Do it after dinner, do it before bed, but get together and pray. For all the time we worry about our kids, we can seek psychological counseling and emotional needs and special programs for them, etc., etc. Can we not give them the beads of God through Our Lady? Envision your kids right now and envision a rosary around those kids. That's what Our Lady wants. And you can do it. You can do it. We can pray the family rosary. So, but if it's not good enough for that, it's for world peace. And Our Lady says, only she can help you. Only the co-redemptrix, mediatrix of all graces, and advocate can help you. That's the power of the fact that Our Lady is the mediatrix, given the task for peace by God, and until we acknowledge Our Lady as the instrument of peace, we're not going to get it. Heaven's not going to change its plan because we're taking a little bit too much time in getting it right. We have to respond to heaven's message. The message goes on and talks about how we're to make of everything a sacrifice, offering it for love of Jesus, for the conversion of sinners, and in reparation to sins against the Immaculate Heart of Mary. That is the Fatima theme so powerfully, consoling the heart of the Mother. Then the vision of hell. People want to talk about, I'm not sure hell exists. We have a reincarnation craze. Let me tell you what, my friends, reincarnation is from hell. Zodiac, horoscope stuff is from hell, insofar as you think that your day is designated by the month you're born on. St. Augustine disproved that years back, centuries ago, by saying, look at two twins. Two twins are born at the same moment, completely different personalities. Don't buy into the New Age or hellish stuff. Buy into the heaven stuff. Hell exists. And as remedy for hell, God wishes to establish devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. The prophecies are profound. Several people, several commentators, international commentators say, well, some of these things have happened. Of course, a conditional Second World War. Other things have not, including the annihilation of nations. Cardinal Ratzinger, in his commentary on the Third Secret, talked about the possibility of nuclear disaster. We're not away from that in any means. So we're called to live Fatima now. We're called to consecrate ourselves to the Immaculate Heart. If you don't have a formula, just do it from the heart. Consecrate yourselves and your families. Do the 5 first Saturdays of reparation. Pray the Rosary daily. And I have to say, the 5th Marian Dogma, my friends, that's the key that will unlock the graces of the triumph. I'm asking you, please, pray. And every Rosary, every Mass intentions, pray for the Pope to unlock the intercessory power of our Blessed Mother by proclaiming the 5th Marian Dogma. And we'll see the power, the history, and efficacy of that consecration and that dogma proclamation, which will eventually give us an era of peace. Mark Miravalle with MaryCast. God bless.